History, arguably the single most important cultural property. It is the great unifier of all societies, from classical to contemporary. It is happening all around us, every second, every minute, every hour of every day. A conspiracy of coincidence. It creates the contextual understanding of events that affects our lives. If we are vigilant enough, we can witness it happening. If we are keen enough, we can make it happen. By understanding it, we can alter the reality of the present or change the trajectory of the future. For without history, we are without purpose. We are without identity. Welcome to the gray area where we examine history in hindsight. February 7th, 1795, the 11th Amendment to the Constitution was ratified. 1882, the last bare-knuckle fight for the heavyweight boxing championship took place in Mississippi City. 1943, the U.S. government announced that shoe rationing would go into effect within 2 days. 1944, during World War II, the Germans launched a counteroffensive at Anzio, Italy. 1962, the U.S. government banned all Cuban imports and re-export of U.S. products to Cuba from other countries. 1974, the nation of Grenada gained its independence from Britain. 1984, space shuttle astronauts Bruce McCandless II and Robert L. Stewart made the first untethered spacewalk. 1985, New York, New York became the official anthem of New York City. 1986, Haitian president for life Jean-Claude Duvalier fled his country, ending 28 years of family rule. 1991, the revered John Bertrand Aristide was sworn in as Haiti's first democratically elected president since Haiti's revolution. 1999, NASA's Stardust space probe was launched. The mission was to return comet dust samples from comet Wild 2. The mission was completed on January 15, 2006. When the sample returned to Earth, 2008, the space shuttle Atlantis launched with the mission of delivering the Columbus Science Laboratory to the International Space Station. But rewinding all the way back to 1907, James Poindexter, a clergyman, an abolitionist, politician, and civil rights activist, was born in Richmond, Virginia in 1819. He attended school in Richmond until he was about 16 when he started to apprentice as a barber. In 1837, Poindexter married Adelia Atkinson, and the couple moved to Columbus, Ohio, where they remained for the rest of their lives. Poindexter was a major supporter of the Underground Railroad in Ohio, personally supplying wagons and teams of horses to help fugitive slaves on their journey to Canada. During the Civil War, Poindexter and his wife formed the Colored Soldiers Relief Society to help give soldiers and their families assistance since the state of Ohio failed to support its black veterans. As a well-known minister in Columbus, Poindexter on August 1st of each year delivered the West Indian Emancipation Day speech. When the 15th Amendment allowed black voting throughout Ohio in 1870, Poindexter began his political career. In January of 1871, he led the call for a statewide convention of African American men to encourage voting. 2 years later, Poindexter was nominated by the Republican Party for a seat in the Ohio House of Representatives. He lost, but in 1880 he became the first black American elected to the Columbus City Council, re-elected in 1882. Poindexter remained in the seat until 1884, when he was named to the Board of Trustees of the Ohio School for the Blind. In 1884, Poindexter was also appointed to the Columbus Board of Education and was re-elected 4 times. Poindexter was nominated by Democratic Governor George Hoadley to the Board of Ohio University, but the nomination was blocked in the Ohio State Legislature. In 1887, he was named to the Board of Directors of the State Forestry Bureau, and in 1896, he was appointed to the Board of Trustees of Wilberforce University, the African Methodist Episcopal College in Xenia, Ohio. James P. Poindexter died on February 7th, this day, 1907, after a prolonged fight with pneumonia. His funeral was attended by over 3,000 people, making it one of the largest funerals in Columbus's history. Unofficially, February 7th could be considered Poindexter Day for his accomplishments and remarkable feats of bravery in the face of adversity. He did not yield, and history smiles upon him favorably. You see, history, much like time, waits for no man. It is ultimately up to us to decide whether we choose to make it or be the reason we repeat it. However, no matter what side of it that you stand on, you can only learn from it by looking at history in hindsight.